boy Lieutenant Dan here with another Falcons film breakdown, a late night edition for you guys so that you can feel my workload with multiple videos being worked on right now. But this one I wanted to finish up first. We're looking at the Atlanta Falcons pass rush versus the Carolina Panthers, and we're going to be keying in on Vic Beasley and Takk McKinley and some of the more bizarre instances while we're also going to be celebrating the sack by Takk McKinley and some of the pressures that Vic Beasley was able to cause. But let's take a look here. Vic Beasley is at the bottom of the screen here, at the bottom of the formation near the left tackle. And one of the things that I get a little upset about with Vic Beasley, and I think all Falcons fans get a little upset about Vic Beasley, is his lack of technique or pass rush moves, allowing him to be able to get to the quarterback, or his patience like Takk McKinley is able to use, or when we had Dwight Freeney, or in some cases Brooks Reed or Derek Shelby. Those guys are able to use their technique or skill or patience to be able to get to someone, whereas Vic Beasley just kind of throws himself like a missile without a guidance system at something and tries to beat people, usually with his athleticism versus his actual technique. And here's where we show that right now. Vic Beasley does an inside step move, which converts to outside, and there is no real bend here. The first thing I see is that Vic Beasley cuts the inside and the left tackle just sits. And usually when a left tackle sits, if you're running a power move or if you're running a spin move, you can get away with some things because you can take advantage of an inside or outside leverage when somebody just stands still. This, unfortunately, is where Vic Beasley just heads on someone, tries to do an inside-outside move, and really doesn't sell anything. And left tackle's not fooled at all. He's going, Vic, you're going to have to beat me with technique. You're not going to be able to beat me with athleticism right off the bat. Because of that, then Vic Beasley begins to move in, from the outside, and it's not really even a bend. It's more of an arc to the quarterback, because a bend would be throwing your shoulder down, that left shoulder that Takk McKinley or Vic Beasley use when they're taking on left tackles, throwing that down and going towards the quarterback. In this instance, there is none of that. And then Vic Beasley, from this particular angle, looks to try to grab out or reach out towards Cam Newton. But when we look at it from this angle, it gets even more apparent that Vic Beasley, his pass rush moves are lacking, and his ability to actually get to the quarterback, and this whole play in general is just a farce. There's no arm that's going out to try to touch Cam Newton, and this interior exterior move that Vic Beasley does is just hogwash. Let's take a look over here on the left hand side of the screen. And I'm going to look at that play one more time, and I want you guys to pay very close attention to Vic Beasley's arm here on his right, the one that has the black armband on it. And I want you to tell me, does he actually reach out to Cam Newton? We'll look at this play at least one more time, but inside move doesn't even work. So now he's just stuck on 74, and then watch that arm. Why does he pull his arm back? I am deadly confused on this play, and I've looked at it several times. Look. Nope. Why? Why did Vic Beasley pull his arm back? You're playing the game of football, and this right here where I've stopped it should be where he's bending down. He should be bending down and into the pocket. Instead, he arcs out, and then watch that arm. Why does he pull his arm back like, ew, that's gross, ew, icky? Why? Why? I don't understand that. That is bizarre, beyond bizarre. But it's just one of the things that I saw in this film that I needed to address. Now let's take a look at another play. You're going to see Takk McKinley at the bottom of the screen now, and Vic Beasley at the top of the formation there. And you're going to get almost the exact same scenario where you put another pass rusher on the field, a young pass rusher who is hungry, and you put a Vic Beasley who, there are other plays that I could have shown that are just about the same, where Vic Beasley kind of gets washed out and he's trying to just use speed, but that's not what I wanted to concentrate on. What I wanted to concentrate on was this type of play. Watch Vic Beasley at the top of the screen here, going up against the right tackle now, and kind of gets a good angle at this. Let's take a look at this again. Kind of gets a good angle at this, but again, this is, I'm going to use my athleticism and not going to attack with any pass rush moves. I'm also not going to condense. I'm going to go wide on my angle. And we're talking about, the good angle that I'm talking about is the angle that he is spying Cam Newton. And that is one of the biggest things that he was used for in this game with Deion Jones out. If Deion Jones was in, it'd be a different situation, where you might have Deion maybe sitting at the top of the formation or following McCaffrey. And in this particular instance, you have a Vic Beasley doing that on the edge. And again, this is just attacking number 75 here, backup right tackle, or 72, and really not getting a full pass rush. Cam Newton finds a lane. But on this view, it gets even more apparent that, hey man, if you're just going to use your athleticism and no pass rush moves whatsoever, you're a one-trick pony. You're going up against 72, and really watch. No hand fighting, no technical skill here. This is just, I'm going to push up against the tackle and then come out and try to grab Cam Newton, and it's Grady Jarrett who actually gets the penetration. Let's take a look at Grady Jarrett actually while we're on this film breakdown, and watch him against number 69 here with this clubbing move that he uses to get to the inside. While Vic Beasley takes on 72, bam, hits him with that club and gets on the inside. I should make this into the Grady Jarrett film breakdown because he looked actually very good against the Carolina Panthers. He looked decent against the Eagles as well. But you got double coverage, number 73 and number 74 take on Takk. You got number 67 against, I think that's McLean or Sanat. And then you've got, yeah, that's Sanat. And then you got Grady Jarrett with a clubbing move on 69. Bam, hits him with that club. And then Vic Beasley just kind of over there doing his thing. We'll look at this one more time. Just watch Vic over here. Takes on 72 and just kind of right up against him. It's just not really much there from him. And that's kind of something that I saw all game. That is something I saw all game, either over pursuing or kind of doing something like this. So this is one hell of a jumbled play, and I was going to make this long breakdown about how Vic gets interior pressure, and then the tackles are, one's blown out, and then Grady Jarrett makes some penetration, and Takk McKinley, gets around and smarts and gets around and makes a sack. But here's the deal. Here's the deal with this play. This play is just a jumble of spaghetti dropped on the floor from the Carolina Panthers in their blocking assignments. And at first, when you look at it from this angle or from the for the game view, from the broadcast view, it looks like, okay, Vic Beasley comes in, busts their coverage, Takk McKinley comes around the corner and gets the sack, right? And we'll look at that one more time, and you guys kind of figure here what kind of happens as it goes. But then when you look at it from this angle, I just don't even get this. Like, it is the most insane thing that I have ever seen, and we're gonna have to rewind it again. But just take a look at this blocking. What? They pull the guards out. The center and tackle go up against one defensive tackle. A tight end and a tackle go up against a defensive tackle. Another tight end comes to block Vic Beasley. One of the pull guards comes over to block Vic Beasley. And then there's one guard that doesn't even know where he is, number 73. He's just spinning around. What? He thinks he's on the teacups or something. And then you're just like, after you realize where people pull, that you're pulling 2 guards to go around. And why is this guard pulling like this? I don't even know. There's no pocket for Cam, so I bet Cam's probably pissed. But then there's nobody blocking Takk McKinley. He's watched this play and goes, oh, I guess I just have to shrug off one guy, right? Vic took care of everybody else, and it was just a complete mess when that happened. So Takk just comes in and cleans up the sack, But again, just looking at it from this angle, you go, what is 73 and 69? What the hell are they doing? And because Vic Beasley penetrates so far into the pocket, and I give credit to Vic Beasley for this. He comes in, penetrates in the pocket so much that one of the guards is out of place. The other guard has now tripped on Vic Beasley, can't get a full block on Takk McKinley. And then you've got a tight end and a running back just kind of out here. It's just a blown assignment, man. It truly is a blown assignment by the Carolina Panthers. Even if you're calling this slide protection or gap protection, it is awful. It is so bad. So on this play, I want to show where Vic Beasley at the top of the screen here, top of formation against the right tackle, he actually does use his aggressive nature to be able to get to Cam Newton and almost causes a sack. And this is what I think a lot of Falcons fans are looking for out of Vic Beasley is aggression, pass rush moves, counter moves, and to use that God-given athletic ability to be able to get somewhere. Sometimes it comes down to strength. Sometimes it comes down to want or I really want to be able to get from point A to point B. But here you see Vic Beasley be able to get to Cam Newton off of this pass rush from the outside. I still want to see more bend from him here. It's a lot of straight up attack, and he almost gets Cam Newton down on the ground. Because of his speed. Let's take a look at Grady Jarrett here too, who gets a good push up the middle. So it's kind of a Vic Beasley, Grady Jarrett combo attack. And then from this angle, you can kind of see with Takk McKinley coming off the edge on the other side, Vic Beasley just extending the arm, get the arm up and underneath this offensive tackle. And then I want to see him bend more inside. You can never have enough bend when you're talking about defensive ends. And good defensive ends will bend hard to the ball. But right about here, I want to see him dipping his shoulder in and closing this space. I'm going to show you the space here where Cam Newton is able to kind of slither out, kind of just get skinny and move through this area to avoid getting sacked. It's a little bit of Grady Jarrett getting penetration up the middle and a little bit of Vic Beasley being able to get to Cam Newton from the backhand side too. A lot of it, though, is Grady Jarrett. Again, like I said, this maybe should be the Grady Jarrett pass rush video, but Grady Jarrett pushing 67 into the backfield, and then Vic Beasley getting the pressure off the edge and kind of just making Cam Newton freak out. Gets him to move off his spot, and Grady getting the leg. So this is a good combo play by the two of them. But again, you need that violent aggression to be able to get into the backfield. And so this last play I want to show you guys is going to be the last time during the game that I saw Takk or Vic be able to generate pressure or create pressure coming off of the edges. And this is really more about Takk McKinley creating pressure off this edge. I could have shown the Brian Poole sack, but I felt that was a schemed sack versus an effort sack that we would get usually from one of these ends. A schemed sack using Brian Poole or Desmond Trufant last year, or a schemed sack where you use external forces outside of the 4 down linemen or 3 down linemen in your package to be able to generate pressure. And here's what I mean by that. You're going to see Takk McKinley on the left-hand side of the screen. I'll point him out for you there. And then what he's going to do on number 74 is just some nasty stuff. First engages with number 74, that arm extension, then dips down low, comes around and swipes at Cam Newton, causing him to throw an errant pass. Again, we'll look at that. Arm extension, first of all, very key. Want to see that arm extension against that left tackle or right tackle when you're coming up against somebody. I'm right-handed, so this would not be the spot for me. I don't think that I would ever go up against left tackles. It feels very unnatural to me. But then once that arm extension is done and you have a guard coming to help out, you dip that shoulder in, put pressure on that guy. And as he tries to box you out and push around, you swipe. Unlike Vic Beasley earlier in this video, Takk McKinley swipes with that hand and causes Cam Newton to throw an errant pass. Watch that one more time in silence for you guys. I will take that 100 times over versus having Vic Beasley, if you watch him on the other side of the screen, run a stunt with Grady Jarrett and kind of just play zone. It hurts that you don't have a Deion Jones in this type of game and not allowing Vic Beasley to just go all out. But even if this is Vic Beasley not going all out, he definitely played poorly. And Takk McKinley, with a groin injury, had to leave the game, played much more violently, much more physically, and used a little more technique. And let's just be honest here. The much more athletically gifted Takk McKinley is starting to shine through. It just... It is what it is. You see the guy doing the work. Arm extension, comes around, leans into his pass protector. If you see... here he starts to lean in for the bull rush. Once he closes that gap, swipe with the arm and try to get that fumble or strip sack. So I want to thank you guys for coming here and watching this film breakdown. I know this was a little longer than I usually do. I know this was a little more discombobulated than I usually do, but it was a video that I was doing really, really late at night. From now on, I'll manage my time a little bit better. Definitely go leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell, become part of Notification Nation. You guys definitely go into the comment section. Tell me how I did in this video. Tell me what you think of Takk McKinley and Vic Beasley, how Grady Jarrett was used, what kind of pressure we generated on the Carolina Panthers, and if we can improve. And definitely go check out my Patreon and also check out my Twitter and Instagram, UNGR_show on Twitter and Instagram, and Unintentional Grounding on Patreon. If you want to support the channel, $1 a month, $12 an entire year helps this channel continue to grow and helps the upload frequency of videos. My name is Lieutenant Dan. This was Unintentional Grounding's Falcon Film Breakdown. Rise up, stay grounded.